So after my major mishap with this Q&A thing that I deleted the first one up, I'm so sorry you guys, I am finally going to get to recording my answers. So let's answer some questions I've gotten. I'm going to read it from the oldest to the newest. Candy Russell, which How to Train Your Dragon movie is your favorite? That would be the third. I like Hidden World the best because it is the most realistic. Not even talking in terms of the light fury, I'm talking in the terms of the speed in which things happened. In real life, you don't get warnings when something is about to change drastically, and neither Hiccup nor Toothless got this warning. They just all of a sudden, everything changed in a snap of a finger. As soon as Toothless saw the light fury, Dane said it was love at first sight for him, and it just changed everything. And I love the fact that I think I counted like 3 days that went by, and everything happened so fast, and I love it because it was more emotional to not be able to sit there and ponder what's going to happen next. It just happened. So I like the reality of, things happened so quickly, and you had to come to such a harsh decision so quickly. And I just like that about it. I don't know. I guess it's just the realistic aspect of it. You don't get these kind of warnings when your life's about to change forever, and it was pretty well captured here. So, number 2, which main cast dragon, other than Toothless, is your favorite? Stormfly. She's fun. As I wrote in all of the Toothless talks, Stormfly is a ton of fun to write, and she's a goof, and yet she's totally a warrior, just like Astrid, and it fits really well with her being with Astrid. I really like it. So Stormfly is my other favorite in the main cast, although it's a close tie with Cloudjumper, because I've always seen Cloudjumper as this like big brother / father figure to Toothless, and so it's really cute. Those guys are super cute. So it would be a tie between Stormfly and Cloudjumper. Number 3, how do you handle mean or rude comments? What kind of rude things do you get a lot? I try to come back at these kind of comments with sense, logic, and I question them to solidify their position on what they're saying. And if it's something, like, that makes sense, I like to debate with people, so I will come at them with what I know and ask them what they know and actually turn it into a debate rather than an insult or an argument. But there are a lot of ones that are just really stupid, not even well thought out, and so my usual reply is, "Thank you for your input, you're welcome to press the dislike button." And they never answer past that because they're like, well, crap, she isn't going to fall for that. So I try my best not to let any of the negative things get to me. Because, there are a lot of people that go about saying that Toothless Talks is, who wrote this script, this is juvenile, etc., etc. And I'm just sitting here like, well, if you don't like it, dislike the video. Dislike is there for. So, and they don't really bug me. I've been on the internet for so long that those kind of comments, they don't really faze me anymore, and I enjoy what I do, so I just enjoy it. Okay, Mystery Dragon Art. Oh, she has 8 questions. Okay. Why did you get into YouTube? I got into YouTube for the very simple reason of I made a lot of Envis at the time just for my own. It was like a coping mechanism for me. It still is. So I just found this place and figured, okay, I can store them here. Most of them are on private, the old ones. So I can store it here, and and then I can delete it off my computer, make more room, make more stuff. So for me, originally, it was just like a vault. I didn't really expect to do anything with it. I enjoyed making my Envis though, so I let some of them be public, and people seemed to like it. I had about 100 followers, I guess, and then, not followers, subscribers, and then I started the Toothless Talks series completely on a whim, without any expectations, and boom, my channel went from 100 to I'm almost at 5,000 in like a couple months, and it was crazy. So, I got into YouTube as like a vault for my videos, and then it turned into, hey, you have a series to manage now. And that is extremely, it's very off-putting. I've said this in my updates before, but I have a feeling people don't always listen to them or read them. So let me just tell you now, Toothless Talks, not easy to make. Very straining at times. And if I'm not like in the mood for it, I cannot do it. So got into YouTube for storing my stuff, and then I got into YouTube to do Toothless Talks, and that's just how it went. What's your favorite dragon species and how to train your dragon? Not light furies or night furies or night lights. My favorite species, let me think. I actually don't have a very immediate answer for that. There's so many to choose from. Because there's the book species, there's the franchise species, there's the game species. Let me think. I actually don't know which one she was referring to, so I guess that means any of them. I don't think I can pick a favorite. So my top 3 would be the Bewilderbeast, the Stormcutter, and what's the name of it? Looking for the name of it. Hang on. The Deathly Gale Slush, which is a hybrid in Titan Uprising. That's coming to School of Dragons soon. I hope soon. The model's already ready, so I mean, they probably just have animations left to do, so yeah, those 3 would be my top 3 favorite species. Who's your favorite human character and How to Train Your Dragon? Not Hiccup or Astrid. That's easy to answer. That's Volca. I love Volca the most because she, as Hiccup said, is a feral vigilante dragon lady, and that's very appealing to me because I'm very into like animalistic characters that just gonna live with them and become part of them. I don't know why, but it just is really appealing. And I love the way Cloudjumper treats her, and I love that they just sort of like, hey, I'm gonna steal you, and then they became best friends. I guess I like Volca for those reasons. So, who's your favorite How to Train Your Dragon villain? Grimmel. Probably because Grimmel is, he's so, like, out of touch with animals and nature, which is very true to a lot of humans nowadays. We don't really think too many times before we act on using them for our advantage. The point is, I love how Grimmel is made as such a villain because he doesn't care. And he just wants what will make him money. And that's a realistic villain, definitely. So I like that they made him a little bit more of a very societal figure who you would believe you would see in real life. Will you do How to Train Your Dragon Homecoming? Yes, eventually I will. Oh my god, calm down everyone, please. I've gotten this question so many times, and it's so exhausting to see it over and over again. Let me explain why I'm not doing it though. Homecoming was illegally released on YouTube way before it was released, even in the Spanish or Latin America area, which it actually aired at least on naturally before it aired in the Americas. So people were pirating and taking this leak from NBC or whatever it was and just throwing it out into the YouTube area. And all kinds of YouTubers who actually, respected How to Train Your Dragon were saying, don't watch this, wait until it's actually on TV. And no one listened. So people did so much illegal uploading of it that even AMVs that were cut and didn't have the full movie were banned and then blocked. And then, like, months after Homecoming came out, I just see these people re-uploaded it, and then it was okay. And at the same time that this was happening, I tried to do Gift of the Night Fury, and I uploaded that video 4 times, and it got blocked each time. So I realized that the holiday specials were being blocked because of the illegal downloading and uploading. So I was like, okay, gotta take a step back, gotta let this calm down. And, because I don't know how many times you can get blocked before it goes, okay, you're trying to do something illegal. So I'd rather wait and see what happens with that. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, probably a month or 2, because I'm trying to start this series first. I have a little bit of the first 2 episodes done, but I kind of jumped back and forth between episode 1 and 2, so those are a mixture already. So I will do Homecoming eventually. Please, for the love of all that is good and holy in this world, stop asking. It's coming eventually. I just need to figure out a way to maybe, cut out all the sound except for the dragon's noises, But, yeah, so it's coming eventually. Calm your butt down. How much time does it... my computer. How much time does it take for you to edit the episodes? A long time. Days. Especially if there are, like in How to Train Your Dragon 2, various dragons to make the vocals out of. Because, not vocals, but lines. Because if you see the very first episode of How to Train Your Dragon 2, Toothless Hiccups, it is a mashup of constant sentences and sentences after this and sentences after this and comments and all this kind of nonsense during the racing that is, I didn't want to cut it out because it was I have a lot of them to say here, make some personality out of these dragons. But it took so long, and it was absolutely exhausting to do. So it took me days, if not weeks, for me to actually get those fully edited, timed correctly. And then my computer is not really made for doing videos, so it takes good hour, 2 hours to render a 5-minute video, and then it takes a good hour to upload to YouTube. So my computer isn't the best, and that was why I made the Patreon, to try and get either better software or a better computer. So I don't know. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of attention to detail, and I don't want to make it sloppy by putting it out before it's ready. So that's why it'll take so long, is because I don't like putting out something I'm not happy with. And I don't always have the mindset to do it, because I have to think like Toothless and Hookfang and Stormfly and all these dragons. So it takes a long time. The series, Riders of Berk, Defenders of Berk, and then Race to the Edge, will probably be a little bit easier, because what I'll probably do is take the main cast and then 1 or 2 of the featured dragons and then just do that. But it'll probably still take me at least a day or 2 to edit each episode, if not 3 or 4, and so it takes a while. It's very time consuming, and it's very it's exhausting when you work on it for too long. So there's a certain point where it's like, okay, I just need to put this down for a day or two, move on to something else. So that's why I upload a lot of mini edits in the meantime, because I need a break. What do you think would happen if Light Fury... What do you think would happen to Light Fury if Toothless couldn't get to her? Does that mean in the first part when he met her, when he went to fly with her, or when he couldn't catch her from Grimmel? If Toothless couldn't get to her in the first scene, that probably would have meant he got captured by the trap that she warned him about. So Toothless would probably be done for. If you're talking about he flew off on his own to find her, then I think Toothless would have just given up and gone back to Hiccup, and the Light Fury probably would have just flown around keeping her eye on him, because obviously she was there, stalking him like a weirdo all this time. So she probably would have just ended up following until she either learned to accept the humans or Grimmel got a hold of her again. And if we're talking about the end scene, where she's, numbed by the death grubber venom, and Toothless wasn't able to catch up to her, or wasn't able to use the lightning to get away from the death grubbers, she probably would have just been recycled as bait for another dragon. And that would probably be it. She was bait from the beginning, and she was bound to be bait if Toothless and Hiccup hadn't, liberated her from what she was cycling through. Because clearly, she wasn't fighting to get out of her cages. If you go back to the scene where they're in the arena, every dragon is trying to get out of its cage, flying away, breaking away. The rumble horn breaks the chains. But one dragon, the Light Fury, just sits there quietly, as if she's already accepted this fate. So clearly this has been going on for a long time, which would also explain why it took her so long to accept that at least Hiccup was different than the other humans, because it could have been years. She could have been, she's about as old as Toothless, so this could have been going on from 5-10 years. And so I think if he hadn't been able to save her all 3 times, and found her all 3 times, she probably would have been recycled as bait until she was done being of use, and Grimmel probably would have fed her to the death grubbers. Or her skin would have been taken, since obviously, dragon hunters and whatnot want to sell things like that, so I'm sure a cloak of Light Fury skin probably would be high demand, because, look at those sparkles. Let's see here, next one. Alright, Sir Raymond 113 Lechano. That's fun to say. This will be my only question. That is a real low chance of making it, but hey, just one we should do. How do you feel about video games? Which ones did you grow up playing? This is fun. I like these questions. I actually had a small conversation with this person going on about how I was saying, ask me more of these questions. I like these. I enjoy these. And they go, nah, you have so many questions already. And I was like, dang it. I'll have to get them on board for the second one of these I do. I love video games. Love video games. All kinds of really video games. I do mobile games, Switch games, computer games. I don't know if I already said that. And the only game I really play on the PlayStation 4 is The Last of Us, which I am pissed that The Last of Us 2 got delayed. Just had to say that. So, the ones I grew up playing were probably... I played Zelda when I was... I don't remember how old I was, but I played Zelda, the one where, the creatures, the mummy things that grab onto you and suck your life out. Those things scared me to death when I was a kid, and I would just avoid that area as much as possible. Or I think I legitimately once or twice handed the controller to my brother and said, "Get me out of this area and then I'll continue playing." It was like such nightmare fuel for me. I don't know, just look at that. Look at those things. There's so much wrong with that. And then I grew up playing Pokemon as well. I think I had Emerald version first. I still have my Emerald game. I don't know if I ever actually beat it though. I can't remember. But I played Emerald, and then ever since then, me and my brother have been getting Black White for each other. You know, we got them as duos, and we picked which one we wanted, and that way we could trade with each other. So Pokemon and Zelda were the games that I played growing up the most. But there are a lot of other video games I'd love to go into more depth about playing. So, you know, I will probably do that. Oh, and on the subject, I've been thinking about trying to start a Pokemon Nuzlocke, which would be on my second channel. I will be linking that in the end of this video. And I'm probably going to upload this Q&A on there too. So, I might do my Nuzlocke on YouTube. I don't know. Tell me if that would interest some of you. And then, Matrix 24. What kind of questions are these? Is Toothless gay? Is Hiccup gay? What if Hiccup's dad was taken instead of Hiccup's mother? Would everything happen? Let's answer that one question first. Someone piped in before I could and said, Toothless is not gay. He made it a Light Fury, which is a girl Night Fury. Pisses me off right there. I'll get to that in a second. Hiccup isn't gay either. He married Astrid. And they said if Hiccup's dad was taken, he would be raised on how to take care of dragons to try to kill them, and Berk was etc. And then I had to pipe in, because I was restraining myself. I restrained myself to say something along the lines of, pardon my responding here, but the Light Furies are, you know, obviously not female Night Furies. They're a subspecies of dragon. They are not Night Furies, so stop that, people. People, how do you still have this in your brain? Stop it. She's not a female Night Fury that was made really... She wasn't made feminine just because. That's not how it worked. The babies at the end are hybrids. Fish like says they're hybrids. It's just... I get so irritated when people don't seem to know anything about, you know, info. I personally read up on every interview, every blog of all that kind of stuff when the movie was coming out. So I was aware of the mirroring of her scales while people were making, you know, theories about it. I was just sitting here going, dudes, it's just she heats up her skin. So, on to your other question, what if Hiccup's dad was taken instead of Hiccup's mother? Would everything happen? I don't know if it would happen the same way, but someone, Ugu something, replied, and I actually agree with this, so I'm just gonna quote him or her. Actually, the last one is quite the interesting question. The villagers did not agree with Walka, and were not afraid to say it by the look she got in the flashback. Remember, there was one Viking holding the axe to, and it looked like he was conflicted whether you should just kill her instead. And yet she was the chief's wife. Valka might not have been able to change their minds if she would have even wanted to after losing Stoic. See, I agree with that, because we don't know how Valka would have reacted if Stoic had gone and probably been dead, because I don't think Stoic would have become friends with any particular dragon, because he was much more traditional than her, and he had no intention, no opening to that kind of thing. So he probably wouldn't have even been taken. I really think that he would have actually died fighting the dragon rather than being taken by one. So I think Hiccup actually would have grown up worse off if Valka had been widowed, because, I mean, you know, you see how close these two are. I mean, they make sure you know how close they are before they kill Stoics. So you know how much that is, that they love each other. Matrix 24 at least asks a good question, which is, who inspired you? No one. I was briefly tempted to do a video game channel, because I watched Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, those kind of gamers, but I didn't really find, well, first of all, I didn't have the systems that I would need to play these games, and I've never had like a gaming computer, so that didn't work either. But I honestly just didn't know if I could like record myself, even my voice, because if you can't tell, this is my first time actually recording anything to put on YouTube, and I'm very nervous, and my voice is a little bit not as loose, and I'm, I live with other members of my family, so I don't exactly want them to hear me. I don't know. So no one inspired me. I did Toothless Talks completely out of fun, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna finish the movie since I started it, and then it turned into such a phenomenon, I guess, that it just became what it is. People are always saying, oh, this is the best Toothless Thoughts or something out here, and I'm like, what are those? I genuinely don't know. I didn't research anything like this. I didn't look to see if this was an already taken idea, because in my mind originally it wasn't so much a parody as it was like a sort of documentary, but taking it from Toothless's point of view. So I don't even call it really a parody very much. It's just Toothless's version of things. So no one really inspired me to do my Envis, or inspired me to do the Toothless Talks series. It just happened. So yeah. Ming Alston, what made you start the Toothless Talks videos? Again, it was just done on a whim and for my own amusement. I really didn't have any plan for it. I just figured, I had fun making this first one, so I'm gonna continue making them, and I didn't get bored making them, so I just did it, made a playlist out of all of them, and there you go. And then my channel exploded, and I was getting requests for the first movie, and then the second movie, and now the series, and I'm enjoying it. It's getting, imagine going from like 150, maybe 200 subscribers, almost 5,000 is ridiculous. And it only happened in like a span of 3 or 4 months, so it was such a shock, and I'm still getting used to it. Still really getting used to it. I'm not doing very well with all the pressure of getting these out and not disappointing people. So I'm trying to find a balance between doing what I enjoy and doing what I enjoy without making it a bad thing. So I don't want to stop enjoying doing Toothless Talks. So I just started it for fun, and I kept it going because I liked it, and because it made other people happy, which is something I like doing, so that's the reason. One Shot Wrecker 9000. What do you plan to do with the future of your channel? After I finish the series of How to Train a Dragon, I've considered doing... Excuse you, phone. After Toothless Talks is done, I've considered doing other creatures talking, like the Jurassic Park movies. What else is there? Jurassic Park movies, monster movies, I guess Godzilla, maybe, that kind of thing. I'm not too into Godzilla, but I did watch King of Monsters, and it was good enough that I would probably do that as a project too, if people enjoyed it enough. So more subtitling from other creatures' points of views in movies like that. Dakota Berk when we make the Race to the Edge and Defenders of Berk edits. I'm working on the Riders of Berk edits now. I have a little bit of episode 1 and a little bit of episode 2 done. And I took a poll to ask if I should do them in order or not. So Race to the Edge will come last. So it's going to be a little while until I get to Race to the Edge. But I'm on Riders of Berk, which is the first one, and then Defenders of Berk will come after that. It'll take me a while to get all 3 series done, for sure, but I'll get them done eventually, you know. Unicorn number 1. Do you have pets? Yes, I do. I have 3 dogs. I have Rottweiler, Shepherd, Lab mix. His name is Shadow. I've posted pictures of him before, I think. I have miniature Schnauzer, Bella. She is the matriarch of the group. And then I have a Pit Bull Terrier Lab something mix named Cookie. She is probably the most handful, but the most sweetest thing we have. They're all, you know, family to miss. So I have pets, I love them. They're all awesome. Face reveal. Can you do a face reveal? I mean, I don't even take very many pictures of myself, much less any kind of like video. Like I'm recording this just on my camera because I don't have a microphone and I don't really want to do anything with my face. So I'm just, I guess, self-conscious like that, but, I don't know, I guess I'd think about it. It would probably be on my second channel, if it's anywhere, because I will actually be playing games on there, like the Pokemon Nuzlocke I mentioned I might do, so that might be on there, but I can't really, I can't think if it would or not. Next up is Ugu. Okay, here you go again. Hello again, mister. Or Mrs., I don't know. Will you take video requests of any kind? Yes, but I'm probably going to have these as small commissions because, well, I mean, you know how things are right now. So doing anything extra, I'm having to do a lot at home right now as it is. I went out 2 weeks in a row to the store trying to get things we needed. We just went again today. The panic buying in my area is deplorable and it's awful. People are coming from other cities in the state just to find stuff, and they're coming to empty aisles, and it's awful. So I'm trying to figure out if I can earn money any small way with like art or video commissions like this. So I might make requests available, but it would have to be like, and don't worry, it wouldn't be anything ridiculous. It would be like $1 for a typical 5.5 minute video, or an AMV or whatever it is. So it wouldn't be anything drastic, but I would probably commission it. So yes and no. I will probably take video requests, but I will probably have to ask for something in return if it is something similar to Toothless Talks or something very detailed. Ugu's second question is, do you have any advice for getting through the current situation without going insane? I wish I had good advice on how to get through it. I myself am still having daily struggles of how to do this. For as much as I want everything to just be over, I also know that if we open things up too soon, or we're just gonna get a second wave of it, and without getting too political, look for non-biased sources to read or listen to. I'll be honest, I don't mind saying it at all. Don't listen to the president. At least don't take anything he says to heart as truth. Let's try this again. The advice I have for getting through the situation without going insane, just try to do your own thing. Something that you don't get bored of doing, or keep doing something new every time. I suggested to my mom just last night that we try to do like movie nights or something. Just something to get us together and calmed down, because we have high tensions in our household, so we're fighting a lot, and no one can really go anywhere because some of you know about how many surgeries my sister has had, so she's definitely low immune system. My mother is in the older age group. I have asthma myself. My brother is born with bronchitis, so he gets it. It's a respiratory disease and whatnot, so none of us are going anywhere unless it's for essential shopping. We're not even going for walks or anything like that. Just try to make the best of the situation by doing things that are calming. And like I said, maybe try to, if you live with other people, get them together and just watch a movie for a night, every night or something, and just calm down, have dinner together, something like that. I mean, I imagine most of you, including me, will sit on the couch and eat your dinner away from everyone else or in your rooms, but maybe just small bits of positive interaction. That's the best I get. Do you like any musicals? Yes, I like the Hamilton musical. I really like it. I really like it. I also saw an animatic for what is it called? It was, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it. Hang on. Heathers. That's right. I like the Heathers musical. It's also pretty fun, and watching JD go from kind of crazy to totally insane is awesome. Some of the animatics for JD in the later stages are amazing. I mean, I'll post links to my favorite animatics from Heathers, because there's a couple of them where it just perfectly captures Veronica's what the fuck attitude to JD and JD's absolute insanity. And of course, Hamilton has wonderful animatics as well. Szyn, Szin. She was amazing at doing the animatics. I think she stopped. I don't know why, but yeah, the animatics are really good. There are a lot of animatics, and they're all really good. So they make me like the musicals a little bit more. I never actually got to see any of them in person. That was kind of what I did in the beginning stages of the quarantine. I showed my mom and my sister Hamilton, and then they both got obsessed with it. And they started having conversations over their morning coffee going, why did this happen? I can't believe he cheated on his wife. It was just fun. So yeah, I like those two musicals. What's your favorite food and drink? My favorite drink is Pepsi and cola. Probably too much of a favorite, in that I don't drink healthy amounts. As for food, it's either pizza, chicken, burgers. That's it. At least in terms of dinners. My favorite food to snack on would probably be like chicken strips from a deli or Pop-Tarts. So, nothing special really, just a little bit. The Louise Hanson asks, completely out of curiosity, why do you call the Light Fury Lyrie? Why? This is funny. I named, quote unquote, her Lyrie because of purely reasons that Toothless needed something to call her. Because if Toothless kept calling her Light Fury throughout the entire movie of Toothless Talks the Forbidden World, it would have been weird, because Lyrie knows to call Toothless Toothless, so Toothless has to have a name to call Lyrie. And you can debate all you want that the dragons would call each other by their species name. It's totally acceptable, but like I said, I was trying not to do so much of a funny parody as like a weird kind of documentary sort of thing. So instead, it more turned into she needed some kind of a name, an affectionate name for him to call her, so that he was interacting with her genuinely. So what I did is I just took the first two letters of Light, which is L-I, and then the last two letters of Fury, R-Y, and smashed them together, and there you have Lyrie. But apparently someone everything great about had already done this and called her Lyrie, and everyone's like, oh, this is where you got it from, and I'm just like, no, I just mashed her name together and just came to be Lyrie. It's just a coincidence, but it's kind of funny, I actually went and watched it afterwards, and I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. Michaela Llewellyn, what made you fall in love with How to Train Your Dragon? That's not an easy answer. I actually avoided How to Train Your Dragon when I first heard about it and saw it on listed on the TV when I was looking through channels. I had never seen the trailers. I guess maybe I was never on the right channels or whatever, but I never saw the trailers for it during commercials, and I didn't see it in the theaters because I wasn't going to the theaters very much of the time. But I finally decided, okay, well, I have nothing else to watch, so I'll watch this. Nothing to lose. And I just watched it all the way through going, oh my god, this is awesome. And it was just, I think it was, a lot of people say it's the friendship of it. I mean, Michaela says that too. It's the friendship of it that made it something you were attracted to. But it was kind of more interesting for me to see the other side of Vikings, a different take on Vikings. And I don't know, it was epic, it was fun, it was an adventure, it was just a good story, it really was. And I admire the fact, rather, that in the end, the villain was a dragon. And the fact that while they were saying not all dragons are bad, in the end they made the statement that not all dragons are good either. Some of them take advantage of other dragons. So it went from Stoic being the villain to the dragon being the villain, and I liked that. That was a nice little switcheroo they did. So I think at the end of it, I was like, okay, that's just really cool. Usually they don't do that. They try to say the species is all good and it's liberated and they're free and they're great things and great creatures, but there's nothing wrong with them. But then they throw in the red death and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you all. So I liked that. I liked as morbid as this is to say, I liked that Hiccup, or Toothless, kind of got even with Hiccup, because Hiccup had to lose his leg. There are a lot of theories about how that happened. It was either, I think the most probable one is Toothless's neck is longer than his leg, so he probably grabbed the Hiccup's leg and then pulled him up into his wings to cover him. And I don't know if he would have bitten it right off, but it was probably wounded beyond repair, so they probably had to, amputate it and replace it. So that's actually really interesting to think about. Someone draw me a picture of Toothless biting into Hiccup's leg and then the aftermath and show us what happened, because they didn't show us the gore of it, obviously, but that would be interesting. And then the last one I had, actually, I remember one question that I got asked in the other one before I deleted it, and that was something about someone who asked everyone this. They said that it was about Hogwarts house. I'm Gryffindor, apparently. Okay, now for the last one. I forgot to add this. It's Ugu again. I forgot to add this after seeing it like Hamilton. What is your favorite song from the musical? I don't know if I can answer what my favorite song, song itself is. But I was mentioning animators earlier for a reason. The reason I wanted to watch the entire Hamilton musical is because of one animatic I saw that was by Cezanne, and it was for the song Satisfied. I watched that video, having no idea what the context was, and it was gorgeous. The story got me hooked right away, and it was portrayed so beautifully by this animator. I was just like, what is happening? What did I miss? I missed something huge here. And so I started looking it up and Googling it, and I was like, what is this about? And I had no idea who Hamilton was, like most people. But I looked it up and I was like, okay, I have to find the whole story of this. So I started watching it, and I watched it through animatics of several people. So my favorite song defaultly is going to have to be Satisfied, because if it weren't for Satisfied, I wouldn't have ever even found out about the musical. Okay, so those are the end of the questions for this one. My other channel, which is, it's called Envis Clicker Fury. I'll link it. I'm going to upload the Q&A there. And then I'm probably going to start uploading like speed paints, possibly that Pokemon Nuzlocke I mentioned, and anything else that might be a little not AMV or Toothless Talks, because Toothless Talks and AMVs are kind of intertwined to Envis Flames now. So Envis Clicker Fury is basically what I do everything else on. You can go ahead and read the about page on that. It'll explain more what I'm actually doing. Basically, it's just to have fun and do everything else. The person who made me all the art of the Clicker Fury is also linked in the about. I don't know which name he wants me to go by, but you can see his Twitter there. And then, what else was I going to say? Sorry if this has been awkward. It's my first time recording and I don't really want anybody to hear me, so I'm being as quiet as I can, but also trying not to be too quiet so I don't have to like raise the audio ridiculously. Thank you for almost 5,000 subscribers. It's mind-boggling still. I have plans for doing things after Toothless Talks, like I said. Also, I have an Instagram here. I have my main Twitter here, and the Envis Clicker Fury Twitter here. And if you're curious about what this Clicker Fury is, it is a mashup of a Night Fury. I hadn't decided which Fury I was going to use, so the guy who made it picked a Night Fury because it was stockier, I guess. So he picked a Night Fury, and a Clicker is from the game The Last of Us. It is the third, I think, stage of an infection, a zombie-like infection. They're not zombies, though. They're called infected. So I love clickers because they're blind and need to make a clicking sound like echolocation. And they look really gnarly. So he made a first draft of it where it had nothing, no highs or anything. His face was just covered in the plates that are signature of it. But I was like, I kind of want one eye popping out so that I can have something, to make this thing into a persona, a character. So he made one eye that, didn't get covered yet completely. So it is a mixture of a Clicker from The Last of Us and a Night Fury. And I can do that without messing with the canon because it's a zombie. So it doesn't have to be of a reasonable age. It could be 200 years old, you don't know. So that's all I really got for now. If you have any requests you want, you can email me right there. And I will probably put up on my second channel what commissions would be, if I can think of anything. So that's about it for now. That's all I can think of. Thanks for asking all the questions, and I will probably make a second one of this if this one is, well reacted to, I guess. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye. Bye.
Let's give them something they ain't never seen. A little rated R redneck dream.